Hello good people of YouTube and welcome to my hobby channel. I'm conscious of the fact that I haven't posted many videos recently and there have been several reasons for this, not least is the fact that the house next door is being gutted and renovated, and for the last 2 months now I've had a lot of background noise to contend with. Power tools, loud music and raucous banter from tradesmen. It's been going on for 8 hours a day, 7 days a week, and when they do pack their tools up in the evening and go home, I haven't had the energy to jump behind a camera and shoot a hobby video. There are also other things going on in my life at the moment which have affected my mental well-being, and this in turn has had an impact on my physical health. So that's something else that stopped me engaging with the hobby and with YouTube in the way that I would like. The other thing that I've noticed is the more that I diversify and broaden my content, the more that I talk about different aspects of the hobby, the less the YouTube algorithms seem to like this, and rather than promote my channel, it looks like it's being buried and my viewing figures are starting to drop. So that has created further challenges that I need to contend with. Anyway, it is what it is. And having said all that, I just wanted to do a project update video for Baldwin the Pious here. If you've seen any of my previous videos on this channel, you'll probably recognize Baldwin and his friend Henri Le Massive. Both were originally conceived as unit fillers for my Bretonnian army, but they've kind of developed into Megagargant personalities in their own right. They were created out of elements that I'd sculpted when I owned and ran the Battle Forge. A lot of the bits that I used never actually went into production, although molds were made. And I also used some bits and pieces from older sculpts. These are two giants that I did about 18 years ago. And I had various sort of body parts and test castings and things lying around. All these resin bits and pieces were just gathering dust on a shelf, so I decided I wanted to incorporate them into a new giant that I could use for Warhammer the Old World in my own sort of personal collection. And so that's what I did, and that's how Baldwin here was conceived. Now, as I said, if you've seen previous videos, you'll know I did a magnetic hair, so I could swap the different hairstyles around and use this giant in my different old world armies, maybe with orcs and goblins, not just Bretonnians, but perhaps Empire, possibly even Ogre Kingdoms. But as I posted work in progress photographs up on social media, Baldwin was met with some very positive responses. It was great to see that. So I then went ahead and sculpted a companion, which is Henri Le Massive here. Now, these giants were basically put together, assembled and sculpted as a single piece model. And that's when people started to ask the question if they could actually get hold of Baldwin. Would he be made available? Would they be able to purchase him? And at the time, the answer was sadly no. And this brings me on to the bits and pieces that I have on my cutting mat here. Now, some of these are elements that I sculpted a while ago. This is a master for a head that was cast in resin. I sculpted that in 2016. And I had it cast up, although it was never released as a product. And I also did some hands and the feet that you can see there on Henri Le Massive. And I'd got bags of these bits and pieces lying around, plus some old body parts from the Imperial giant there that I sculpted 18 years ago. And I thought, well, why not use that as a basis for recreating Baldwin in sections so that he could be cast in resin. Now, as you will know, and as I've said before, I no longer own the Battle Forge. I don't have any involvement with the business, but obviously I know the guys that bought the company from me, and they now run it themselves as part of Ainsty Castings. And because they own the IP and the copyright on all the stuff that I've sculpted, they have a vested interest in what I've created here. So I did it for personal enjoyment. I didn't do it for commercial gain, but what we've got here now is all the parts that you need to create a product. And I am gifting these to Ainsty Castings, as I said, because they own the IP on a lot of the elements that I've used. This was just something that I did for fun. I did it for my own mental health and well-being, and I will be happy to get a couple of models back in return that I can build and paint and use in my armies. So that's what's happening with these here. I also thought it might be a good opportunity just to answer a few questions, because obviously a lot of us, when we sculpt stuff, we're converting models and we're just doing it for our own personal armies, our own personal collection. But several people have asked, well, you know, are there any significant differences between sculpting something for fun and sculpting something to make a master out of? And the short answer is yes. The first thing that you can see, obviously, is when I sculpted these giants for fun, they were done as single piece models. But if you're sculpting a commercial master that needs to be cast in resin, it has to be broken into bits that could be molded. At the same time, you also have to create something that can be put together easily. And mad ideas like magnetic hairstyles are all very well on a prototype, but obviously they're not sensible if you're creating a product that you want to sell. So instead of magnetizing the hairstyles like I have on the original Baldwin, I've come up with some alternate heads that cater for the options that I originally imagined. So we've got the hat, we've got the pineapple ponytail, we've got the original bald head, and we've got the pudding bowl haircut. Now, I did a sculpting video about giant hair in which I created this, which was a bit of a homage to the Marauder giant, although this head is about the same size as the Marauder giant body, but very much into the old school models. I then went on to do a mohawk or a Mohican hairdo, which again is reminiscent of the sort of Marauder ogres and the Blood Bowl ogres that were available when I was into the hobby in the early 90s, early to mid 90s. So I've got a selection of heads there that I've done. All of them fit onto the neck. And again, when you're creating a master that's going to go in a mold, you have to watch out for various things. You have to keep surfaces and shapes as sort of shallow and smooth as you possibly can. There are other things to look out for, like pinch points. I still need to go over and just check this and make sure that when rubber gets poured on a piece like this, it isn't going to get trapped inside a hollow, which will tear the mold when the original is being removed. So there's all sorts of little things to look for. And of course, because you're breaking the model down into parts, you have to work out where you are going to have the elements join up again. So in creating the arm here, I had to split the little details of fabric so that they continued around the shoulder, but some of these are actually on the arm. If I'd done them on the body, they would have been sticking out and overhanging, and that would have created problems. So there's a little bit of tidying up to do on that. But these were the kind of things that you have to sort of bear in mind. The same with the section here for the hips and the bottom of the tunic. Baldwin has got various elements around his hips glued to his waist. I put those on this. It would have created a shape that was too complicated and awkward or challenging to mold. So these elements have been sculpted separately, and they can be glued on when you get the model and you're assembling it at home. And finally, the legs. Again, I've done some videos on the various elements here that I sculpted, the fur and the steel toe caps and so on. Those legs are separate, and that just makes the production process easier, the production of molds, than if they were a single piece like that. So that's it really, just breaking the model into simple parts and simple forms that can be molded up easily. So as I said earlier in this short video, I'm gifting these to Ainsty, and he should be available in January, and he will become a permanent member of the Battleforge website thereafter. So if you want your own version of Baldwin, you'll be able to buy him from the Battleforge website, and Ainsty Castings. That's it from me, really. I did want to shoot a couple of other hobby videos before Christmas, but it really does depend on how much noise they make next door. I bought myself a couple of boxes of Renaissance Cavalry from Wargames Atlantic. I wanted to do an unboxing of those and a review of the sprues. I'm looking forward to doing that, but again, it depends on the noise. I also went ahead and bought myself another Aces and Eights Saloon for Dead Man's Hand because I wanted to do an unboxing of that. I also wanted to do a build and paint video for that as well. So there's lots of things I'd like to do, health and noise permitting, but who knows. Let's see. The other thing I wanted to mention is that on the 22nd of December, Carl from Carl Makes Things will be interviewing me. So that's happening on YouTube on the 22nd of December. It would be great if you could join us for that. I'll get to chat about the stuff that I make and my love of the hobby again. And that's about it, really. I'm sorry this video has not been up to my usual kind of standard, but I'm doing my best. I did also break the tripod that I've been using to hold my camera on, so I need to replace that in order to crack on with my other videos. But there we have it. I hope you've enjoyed this video nonetheless, my little update on progress with Baldwin and the giants that I'm working on. If you have, please smash that like button. If you haven't subscribed to my channel already, please do. Lots of fun stuff planned for the new year. That's it for me. I hope you've enjoyed it. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next one.